The Toronto Raptors have just molested my Rockets. I have no other way to describe it. Almost every single Raptor was having a positive impact on this game. The Raptors defense was just ridiculous this game, as shown by the 28 turnovers committed by the Houston Rockets. This game was so good for the Raptors that I have no idea where to even start. I guess the MVP of this game would probably be the best way to start. Precious Achiuwa had an amazing game both offensively and defensively. For fuck's sakes, he hit a 3! But outside of that 3, he still did some other amazing stuff. He took the Rockets' big man off the dribble and was able to finish around the rim with ease, leading to 17 points and 5 rebounds while shooting 7 for 11 from the field. However, that was not the most impressive part of his play. His defense was very impressive. Outside of the rim protection that he provided by deterring players from easy layups and forcing them into some bad shots around the rim, he also did an amazing job on the guards of the Houston Rockets. Look, the key to the Raptors' switchable defense will be how well they can manage the mismatches, particularly a big man defending a guard or a guard defending a big man. In this game, Precious was switched on to Kevin Porter Jr. a couple of times and defended it admirably. He forced KPJ into a couple of step backs, essentially forcing him to a tough shot, which is exactly what you want to see when you're mismatched. Precious has shown some really good stuff in the preseason, and it seemed as though Kem Birch, the other man competing for the starting center job, looked a little bit rusty, which is fair because he's coming off from having COVID and he needs some time to adjust. However, Precious is making the decision for the starting center job even harder after every game passes by, and it's a lot different from what we thought before the preseason started. But what an amazing acquisition by Masai and the Raptors. Speaking of awesome acquisitions, Svi has once again impressed, dropping 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. He has been an awesome addition and is really making a case to be in the Raptors rotation come regular season time. OG is continuing his tear. In only 17 minutes of play, he dropped 17 points, showcasing what I've been harping all offseason, which is his efficiency. The other bright spot in this game was Delano Banton. Throughout the preseason, he has been showing flashes of pretty intriguing potential. Sure, he has made some rookie mistakes, but the fact that he is a guard and 6'9" just makes him so fascinating in my eyes. He had a fantastic game, putting up 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting 4 for 5 from the field, with his lone miss being a triple. The other 3 was a miracle shot from the half court which he banked in. Outside of his offense and finishing, his defense is what truly stood out. There were so many times where his length and size was so annoying to the Rockets. I talked about how the hardest part about the Raptors' switchable defense will be the mismatches. Well, this time around, Banton was matched up against Christian Wood in the post. Not only did he hold his own, but he forced an air ball. He played fantastic defense in that particular situation and was awesome in that switch. Since stats do not do him justice to how well he played, he did have a plus minus of plus 12, which kinda shows the impact he had on the court. Honestly, it sucked that the Raptors had such a great game against my team, but it was also great to see everything kind of come together. This team was built to not only force turnovers, but to snatch the ball and take it up the court on the other end for some easy shots. If you watched that game, you saw how many easy peasy transition points the Raptors were able to collect. Most of those points were coming off of turnovers, but they were also hustling for those long 50-50 rebounds. It helps when almost every single player on the court can just grab the ball and just go. We even saw Precious do this a couple of times. It puts the Rockets on their heels, and it was rare to see them set up their defense for whatever it was. This will be what will determine their success in the regular season and honestly could make them deadly in the postseason. Throughout the recent years, it is evident that the foul calling by the refs in the regular season versus the postseason is drastically different. They allow for more physical play in the playoffs, and that physical play is a perfect complement for what the Raptors do on their defense. With their length, height, and strength, they're going to be able to catch some teams by surprise. But enough postseason talk. The regular season is only 8 days away, and the roster is going to be finalized soon. So who do you think should be left out, and who do you think should be on the final roster?